Welcome to Hate to Wait, where two lifelong dieters talk about their current struggles with weight loss. Diets, we've tried them all. We are not doctors. We don't play them on TV or on this podcast. Join our journey because we're all in this together.
Hey, Emily.
Hi, John. We are actually recording this after our recording because we pressed record. We went live in our Facebook group and we went right into it.
We just started yapping.
So we're actually going to throw you, our listeners, into kind of the middle, I guess the beginning of the conversation.
Beginning of the middle of the show.
Beginning of the middle of the show. All right. So thank you so much for joining us. And
here we go.
Do you want to hear something funny with my water situation? And podcasting, actually. I got a Yeti for Christmas. It's not a blue Yeti.
I was going to say, who gave you a Yeti?
It's a purple Yeti. And we also got a green Yeti. And I was laughing. I was like, you guys didn't get a blue Yeti. It's like something I said about podcasting got through. It had nothing to do with podcasting. But you got me a purple one and a green one, not a blue one.
And this is the only blue Yeti that I approve of.
And it's funny. I wonder if like they just saw bits and pieces of like, I don't know, Emily talking about podcasting, and it's like apparently she doesn't want a blue Yeti, but like she's really insistent that like blue Yetis are not the things to get. So we'll get her a purple one.
All right, those blue Yetis.
But yeah, I actually really like this water cup, by the way. Like this top, I didn't think I'd like it, but this top is like solid on here. It is not going anywhere.
Yeah, no, they're really, really good. I wanted to get one, but they're a lot of money. I don't want to tell you since you got them as a gift, but they're a lot of money. Yeah,
they are. I'm pretty sure I got this from my stepbrother. I'm pretty sure he got it on Crazy Super Clearance because he's really good about finding deals.
Well, then I would love to find one of those deals.
I know.
So anyhow, the reason I'm a little flustered was because I was just going out to get coffee, and you're like, "Is there a link today?" And I'm like, "Oh, give me 5. I'll be down." All right, let's get into the show. This is for everybody that watches the show. This won't be in the show. I don't know. Maybe we should. No, I can't because we didn't start recording until later. Yeah. We got to learn to really next year. We got to learn next year. Next episode, we should just, come on, start recording right away. Because I think some of the really good stuff is in the beginning. And we could always put that at the back.
We could put it at the back. We could also do a Patreon. I don't know if that's something that you're interested in. Nobody has expressed interest, so I haven't really said anything. And it's not like we're really doing this for money or anything like that.
But remember, now we have a store now.
We do have a store. I forgot.
Yeah. We are the worst monetizers in the podcasting world. And listen,
I consult people for a living. That's the worst thing. Well, when I consult people too, I have like a system for them. I don't follow that system at all for this show. This show is like purely for my enjoyment. I don't have the hex codes memorized. I don't have the fonts. Like I know the fonts. It's permanent marker in Canva. That's the font we use. Right. But like I don't have a lot of that stuff systematized into. Nope. I got my Post-its of what I want to say this week. I got my Post-its of how much I weigh, and we go. Because if I plan too much, this show won't be as good. Like you'll be able to tell that it was planned out, and
I get that. Okay, so here's
dieting.
The thing.
Dieting isn't like that for me at least.
Right. Well, here's the thing, and this is the only reason I made the store, is because I thought some people would like a Hate to Wait mug, and it has and there's a Hate to Wait water bottle in there. So I thought that people would like to have one since they're
absolutely.
It's not because we're trying to make money off of this. I thought it would be I'm going to buy the Hate to Wait tote bag because I tote stuff up and down the steps all the time, and it would be great for that.
Yeah, actually, that's the thing that I meant to tell people for Christmas. It's like, listen, if you're a podcaster, there are a lot of people who are enacting these plastic bag bans, and people are going nuts for the canvas bags, especially the ones that are sold on TeePublic. Those are really good.
That's where we're at.
Yeah. Well, we're not on TeePublic. We're on Threadless, right?
No. Wait a minute.
Threadless.
Are we? I don't know. I don't even know. We're the worst. The worst.
It'll be in our show notes. Oh my God. Future Emily hates us sometimes. Future Emily, I'm just like, it'll be in the show. What the fuck are they talking about?
What did we, where did we, Did we put it on Threadless?
I think so. Yeah.
I can't remember. This is crazy. We're the worst. We're the worst podcasters ever.
Yep. And we help people podcast because we're so worried about other people's podcasts.
This isn't really a podcast. I'm not saying this is my favorite podcast to do.
Oh, I know. But, well, here's the thing. So it's interesting. A lot of the things with merch and merchandise, like we're not actively trying to grow the podcast just because it is such, at least for me, it's such a sensitive topic that I'm still not used to going out in open and being like, hey, I have a podcast all about losing weight. Look at how much weight I've lost. And if they've just met me for the first time and they're seeing like this isn't like thin to them or anything. So my whole thing is like, okay, but let me show you these before pictures. Let me show you episode 1. Like, look at this. Yes, this podcast did this at least. Like, I'm not gonna, I don't know. So.
Well, here's the other thing too. So for me, I don't share this on my personal Facebook page because I have guy friends that will torch me for this. They will use this to torture me. Not that I can't take a joke, because I can. Because I get down and dirty when we talk about some of the stuff, and I really talk about what's going on in my life and all. And they will get this, and they will use it as a frying pan to just bang me over the head with. So I don't put it on my normal Facebook.
Your feed, yeah,
I don't put it on there because I don't need that nonsense from them guys. I mean, because usually I can handle it. Like it doesn't, but after a while, like they wear you down. You know what I mean? Because guys are brutal.
Are they still like that though?
Oh, yes.
Really? Like what happens? Do you get like texts from them?
Like they'll use it on their own. They'll take some of this and they'll put it on their own podcast. They'll do.
That was kind of. Oh yeah.
And you know why I know that? Because I do it. Yeah, because I've done it. Like I'll take something out of context when someone will say something. They'll read a news story and they'll say it in the first person. And I'll go and clip that. You know how I love to clip things, right? I'll go and clip it, and then on my podcast, so-and-so. And you know about him, he said this, and I'll play it. And now that's funny because it's out of context. It's not true. But this stuff they're going to clip would be true. So that's why I don't do it. And maybe I'll start doing it this year. Maybe I won't care. I don't know.
It keeps me accountable when I do it, and it makes me talk about. See, this is the interesting thing, and we haven't even gotten into the episode, but like this might as well be getting into the episode a little bit. Well, I'll record the intro later. But the interesting thing about posting about your weight loss online and why I don't really do it is because I also don't want the questions or the DMs. I think we talked about this not on the not recording,
right?
But I don't like the DMs of just like, how'd you do it? And I'll be like, well, I read this book and I started doing this. And it's like, no. Condense it. And I'm like, I can't condense weight. Like there is no magic pill. There is no magic formula. I'm sorry. I can't give it to you. It's like, tell me everything you know about intermittent fasting. And it's like, okay, here, I made an IGTV video. It's 10 minutes long. Here's the link to it. This is everything about intermittent fasting, how I did it, the books I read, the groups I joined. I don't want that. Explain it to me. And it's like, that's going to take 20 minutes. You could just watch a 10-minute video and get everything I'm going to tell you. But no, they want me to tell them. And it's like, okay, well, condense it down. And I'm like, fine. Eat for 8 hours a day. Don't eat for 16 hours a day. Oh, okay. Well, what does that mean? Do you want the details or do you want just like the formula? Because here's the formula. What you do with it. Do you want the extra context to understand how to use it? Okay, go read this book. Go join this Facebook group. Go find out all the questions that you're going to ask me, not a health expert, somebody who just did it and tweaks along the way and tests and adjusts and tests and adjusts. For me personally, I can tell you how I do it. It's not necessarily going to work. It's one of those things like, you need to get this information. Here are my sources. I don't want to deal with all that. I don't at all.
I could tell you how to do it. I just don't do it, right? Anyhow, for this 79th episode, I'm like, because it's the end of the year and the beginning of the new year, and for the very first time since we're into the show right now, this is the year that I'm setting goals.
Great.
And I'm not making this New Year's, I'm setting goals, and my goal is to have the surgery before June, to lose 50 pounds before the surgery, to go back to keto and intermittent fasting, and to cut sugar out of my life. That's those goals there. Then there's also other goals that I have, which is to do some more exercising by getting out of this house, and then also do things for fun that I don't do anymore. Like one of the fun things I used to do for fun was playing poker. And one of the reasons I stopped playing poker was because of my mobility. And that stops today because I made I'm going to a poker game tonight at a bar. It's free poker, but it's just fun to play with other people. So that's what I'm doing. They're my goals. I'm writing them down. I'm not going to write morning pages because I don't write well.
No, they're not for
I don't write
everybody, and
good.
honestly, they're I feel like I don't need to see my crazy as much as I do every single day.
What I was thinking about so this is because I don't write, I type. Okay.
Mhm.
So what I was thinking about doing was making a morning pages as a form where I have my checks, like, check for, like at the end of the day, put your food in your My Fitness Pal so you know what you're eating tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you don't wake up and go, what am I eating today? Because that gives you a chance to make bad choices.
Yes.
So if you sit there when you're not hungry and you plan, then you'll do this. Again, I know how to do this. I've read books. One of my clients who I edit for, she listens to podcasts. Never knew that she listened to the podcast. She says, listen, I think I need to tell you about this book. And she sent me a book, and I have it as an audiobook now, which is, I have like 4 audiobooks now that I'm listening to. And I like that a lot better. And I don't know if I can find it. Oh, here it is. And I'm going to have to send you the link to this because I'm going to talk to this, and you're going to put it in your notes. It's in the show notes. It's called The Big Little Book of Change. And Brenda is in here and says, My Fitness Pal works. You just need to do it. Exactly. I just need to do it. I know what to do. There's something wrong with me.
No,
That's why
I don't think
there
there's
is.
something wrong with you. I think it's humans. Humans. It's not you. It's humans. We are not built to look at instructions and say, okay, that looks great. This is why communism doesn't work out. Looks great on paper. Apply it to humans. Does not work. No, no, no. We cannot do it.
Okay. All right.
That's what I think it is. I really think it's like a human thing where here's a set of rules. I mean, let's get theological for a minute. Look at the 10 commandments. People break those all the time. We're just given like 10 rules and it's like, that should be simple enough. Live our life good. Wonderful. Oh man, do I covet my neighbor's wife so hard.
Well, hello there. No, I definitely get that because everybody does this in the beginning of the year. Okay, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And I think I'm going to also incorporate, because I'm going out to buy one of those calendars that you put on your desk, and it is going to be my red X calendar. So in other words, every day that I meet my goals, I put a red X.
Yeah.
And I just want to do that and see how many I can string together. I just want to string like a bunch of red X's together.
It feels good. You get addicted to it. That
Right.
was Jerry Seinfeld's thing. Of
Exactly,
Don't break the
for
chain.
how to write jokes and how to write comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the funny thing. If podcasting was invented back when I was in my 30s, late 20s, I think I would have fixed myself a lot sooner because there's so much that I learned listening to podcasts, but also editing podcasts. There's not one time that I don't listen to a podcast that I learned something. I'm like, wow, that is amazing. I need to incorporate that in my life. I was a crazy lunatic before podcasting. I really was. And I think it's calmed me down a lot. Even my kids said the other day, I don't know why we're like afraid to tell you things because we don't really. Sometimes I think they tell me things to see if they can create a reaction out of me.
I used to do that with my parents.
And I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm like, okay, well, they're adults now. Let's talk to them like an adult. It's a lot easier. It's different when they were kids. Don't stick a fork in the outlet. Well, why? Well, go ahead. It's not, you can't do that. You know?
Oh my gosh. Kids turn your brain to mush. It's just like, I did that upstairs with my daughter. I'm like, there's a much easier way to do that. And she's like, I'm doing it just fine. And I'm sitting there in the kitchen like, fine. I'm just trying to help everybody out with their own lives. And I'm late for my own record. And I'm like,
Yes.
don't you just like, please just understand your life would be so much simpler if you listened to my suggestions because I have life hacked my way to 36 with ADHD. Trust me, I might have a more efficient way of doing whatever it is you're struggling with.
So this year, a month before Christmas, my ex-wife found out that she has breast cancer, and it was contained, and they did tests on her lymph nodes, and she doesn't have it, but they caught it real early. And because of our crazy insurance laws, if she waited until the first of the year, she would have to pay $4,000 out of her own pocket for the deductible.
Mm-hmm.
So they hurried it up to get it done. So we had Christmas on the 21st,
Oh, wow.
which was okay. And she went in on the 23rd, 2 days before Christmas, and she just went in and had the surgery, which was the double mastectomy. And she's in there until Saturday. So I'm not taking care of the kids because they're 21, 19, and the twins are 17. They're going to be 18 next month, 2 months. And
for the audio listeners, I wanted you to know that John's eye roll was pretty amazing when he just said they'll be 18 next month.
right. I can't believe I have 18-year-olds.
That eye roll was precious.
Right. So now, I'm supposed to take care of them. So I'm supposed to make sure that they have Christmas dinner and all that. So they have boyfriends. And so, are you eating? And this, and they want to go visit their mother. When do you want to visit their mother? Well, I got to go with this boyfriend because we're going to visit a grandmother in the morning and all. It's like herding cats. Because when they were younger, I would just say, get in the car, just get in the car. But now they're older and they have plans. They make plans and trying to coordinate everything. And it's like, your kids are driving me crazy. So I said, hey, you can all drive when you want to get to visit your mother, because the hospital is a really good hospital for cancer, but it's in a bad area, So, and I don't want them to get lost there, and I know how to get there. So I said, listen, I'll drive you there. I'll drop you off, and then I'll wait, and then you guys can come out, and I'll take you home. When everybody gets to my house, the bus to the hospital will leave. I'll drive you there, and I'll get back. And it was so funny because I'm thinking to myself, it was easier when they were younger. You just grabbed them and put them where you wanted them. But now they're older.
No, well, we don't have that anymore because now raising kids, it's not so much about telling them what to do. It's more a weird way of like giving them a little bit of autonomy and freedom. And so with me all the time, it's not just saying, okay, go get in the car, because I know that's going to be a struggle. It's easier to say, okay, do you want to get in the car now or do you want to get in the car in 10 minutes? And I do this with my daughter all the time because at least they have a choice and it's always 10 minutes and that's fine. She also can't tell time really well, so 10 minutes is usually 2. But we get in the car because it's her choice. At least she has like a little bit of a choice for it.
All right, we're on a tangent here because I have to ask you this one question. But I know, because I have to ask you this next question. Okay, that's fine. But when they go to work and they have a boss, their boss is going to tell them to do something, and they're like, they need to know that they have to go do that. Or do you think that will come with maturity? I don't know. I'm asking because I didn't raise my children that way.
Well, the other thing is I give them consequences too. I'm like, there's not always the get in the car now or in 10 minutes. There's always the, well, you could do this now and then you won't have any for later. Let's think about the future. Or you can do this later and hold off and then you can have this and you can have more, something like that. So it's like giving them those options. Hopefully, I'm hoping I'm training them to think of options on their own of just like, all right, I know I have to do my homework. Like the same with my daughter. Like you have to do your homework. Do you want to do your math or your reading first? You got to do one. Like you always have a choice. It might not be great either way, but you always have a choice.
It's weird now that I think about that because I was raised in the get in the car, whack. That's how my dad, I got told twice in case I didn't hear the first time. The third time you had to duck. That being said, I noticed as I got older that I wasn't really a rules follower. I was always trying to skirt around the rules, which got me in a lot of trouble. I think it gets me into trouble here with dieting or losing weight or sticking. We don't use the D word. We use eating plan.
I say diet because it's shorter and whatever, but even when I talk about intermittent fasting, it's not so much a diet. It's not a diet; it's a lifestyle. But I say diet just because it's easier to explain. Oh, that's not part of my diet. Like that's part of our society. Our society knows if somebody says that's not part of your diet. Weirdly, they won't push you as much as I can't have shrimp. I'm allergic. Oh, just a little bit. Like no. I am allergic. It's not like
We have an EpiPen.
I know. They're just like, oh, it's part of your diet? Oh, I totally understand. Oh, you're allergic and your throat will close? Oh, give me a break. Like,
Crazy.
yeah. Oh, I know.
All right, so we have nothing planned. That's why we're like, today we are herding cats.
We are. I know. I have a post-it note that I put together a little bit talking about, oh my goodness, lately, John, how have you been with Christmas cookies? Because I saw you had a wonderful winning Wednesday.
I did have a winning Wednesday. Now, I'm not just going to say like Halloween candy. I was Halloween candy free. But with Christmas cookies, I can't even speak. I did have one bag with 6 chocolate chip cookies in it. I did have one bag. That was the most chocolate chip cookies that I had. I feel that I know Snickerdoodles, which is that's a first, and I can't remember how many years.
What
decades.
about the McDonald's Snickerdoodle McFlurry?
I'm not going to say I haven't had a couple of those.
Okay, all right. I don't want to
cookie.
tempt you into breaking your diet right after I said,
I know.
people are mean about that, but I'm sorry, it's a special thing. I'm hooked into McDonald's commercialism of just like limited time, and I'm like, I gotta get it. I don't know what it is.
Well, I go, do you still have the Snickerdoodle McFlurry? And they go, yes. And I'm like, I will have one of those. Like, I go, this is crazy. I go there just for the McFlurry, but I always get a cheeseburger because I feel like I just can't eat.
Because then they say anything else, and you're
Yeah,
like,
anything
well,
else?
I might as well have something healthy. So
Right.
give me a cheeseburger and a Diet Coke.
Yeah, Diet Coke. Can I get a medium Diet Coke, a cheeseburger, and a Snickerdoodle McFlurry, please?
Healthy.
I guess. But that ends today. Well, yes, because today is the first. This is the day. This is the day I start my X's, my Red X days. And I'd be honest with you, because I didn't know we were going to record today, so I didn't jump on a scale. I don't even know where I'm at right now. And since we didn't do it last week, I didn't jump on it. So it's been 2 weeks since I've been on a scale, which makes me nervous because I'm looking at my face right now. It looks a little pudgy.
Oh, see, I thought your face looked a little thinner.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
I know my face is probably fudgy.
Totally
Fudgy. That's actually true. That was a Freudian slip, but it's totally fudgy right now because I did have fudge and cookies and chocolate. And I actually bought candy for myself this year. I normally don't buy candy and leave it in the house, but something happened. We went to axe throwing. I've talked about axe throwing before and how we go axe throwing now, and it's a lot of fun. And they have wintergreen lifesavers there, and it created this Pavlovian response where now I go to the store and I get little wintergreen lifesavers, and they're my favorite. Nobody else in the house likes them, and they're a chalky candy. It's just for me. I have my own little candy.
I'm wondering if axe throwing is the bowling of the new millennium.
I don't know about that. I don't think it'll be around. I don't think there will be axe throwing shirts are kind of flannel. Like you go there, you could have a drinking game, just drinking every time you saw somebody wearing flannel.
They allow you to drink alcohol while you throw a sharp axe?
Yes, it's BYOB.
Oh.
Yeah, this is one of those places. It's down the street from a craft brewery, actually 2 craft breweries. It's down the street from there. I guess all the 20 and 30-year-old, I guess older millennials, it's not really, I don't really see a lot of like.
Well, I think the younger kids now are Generation Y.
Mm-hmm.
They're not Generation X. I think the millennials are over now. I don't really know
Well,
too
I'm
much.
an older millennial. I'm considered an older millennial, and I think the younger millennials are maybe 10 years younger than me, so they're like 25, 26 maybe. So, yeah, and then we go axe throwing, and we're going tomorrow with Mark's sister, and then we're going next week with somebody else. Because the thing is, we're not even like a huge axe throwing family, but every time we talk about going axe throwing, one of our friends wants to go, and we're just like, oh, we'll happily go with you. This is great. And I'm sitting there like, I get my wintergreen lifesavers. That's all I want.
I think you are an axe throwing family now. You've been
I know.
axe throwing how many times? At least 3?
Twice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know what we are? And I don't know why I've been so ignorant of becoming this, but we are a hockey family. And I did not realize that would make me a hockey mom. And this scares the crap out of me because,
Why?
because it's cold all the time. And Mark's like, yeah, you're going to be going to rinks once a week and sitting there in the cold. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I did not think this far ahead when we got married. I knew you like hockey. I knew I would be a hockey mom. I was not picturing
okay, so here's the thing, and I don't know if it's, but every rink I've ever went to, you have to dress a little bit warmer, okay? But there's also these things, they have these heaters that are over the stands, and if you sit under one of them, because you always find the moms, you know where they are because all the moms are huddled underneath of them.
Oh, the rink by us doesn't have that, so I'll have to find that.
Okay, so they have like these little heaters that go straight down on the stands, and I forget what the name of them are, but it doesn't affect the ice, but it is a
Yeah.
little bit colder in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hockey moms are. Well, I'm sure there's going to be hockey for the kids.
Yeah, there's going to be hockey for the kids. Well, I told my husband, he's like, why are you so weird about being a hockey mom? And I'm like, because all I picture is 2008 Sarah Palin of just going, what's the difference between a pit bull and a hockey mom, just over and over in my head. And I'm like, I don't even wear lipstick. I'm basically the pit bull of hockey moms. Do you know that joke?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. What's the difference? Lipstick is the difference between a pit bull
Lipstick
and
is the difference. So I'm basically a pit bull because I don't wear lipstick. So
Well, okay, but here's the thing about hockey moms and a hockey family is it's so expensive because there's the leagues you get to pay for, and then there's the traveling and all that.
yeah,
I mean,
this
it's
is a
crazy.
grandparents thing for sure. This is not we pay for this. This is the grandparents like, oh, it's so cute. Here you go, hockey.
Good. I have my cousin, her husband loved hockey. The kids played. Matter of fact, one of them played all the way up into college. He played for Rutgers. He played hockey for Rutgers until,
Wow.
and he even tried out for, tried to make a pro team, but I don't think he made it.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Like I mean, we are on such a hockey tangent, but we haven't talked in 2 weeks. This is why we have so many things to tell each other.
Right.
Yeah, I saw the minor leagues before they get drafted to the major leagues, which of course isn't the right vernacular because I don't pay attention to hockey sports as much as apparently I should. But before you go to the NHL, you go into the minors, and they're really good. This guy that the Rangers just picked up was incredible in the minors, and we picked him up this year, and he hasn't been too great. It's been like his worst year ever.
Yeah, because it's the elite of the
there's
elite.
such a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Same thing for any of the sports.
Mm-hmm.
That, it's that way. So it was really weird for me because there was no Christmas dinner per se. You know what I had for Christmas dinner? Gas station chicken. All right, so we have a Royal Farms around here, which is kind of like a Wawa. It's a gas station, and they have fried chicken, and they have these potato wedges that are really good. So my son, he got chicken strips and potato wedges, and I got chicken thighs and potato wedges. So that's what I had for dinner. We had a gas station. I call it gas station chicken. So we had gas station chicken for Christmas dinner.
Nice.
I didn't even have Chinese food this year because he doesn't like Chinese food. So yeah, that was. I mean, Christmas was really, really weird. Although we did have Christmas the week before, the 21st, or the weekend before the 21st, and that was the. What did we have? I know we had ham. We had ham and I guess it was the normal stuff. And there wasn't really a lot of desserts or anything like that. So I think I did pretty good. I feel like I did well, eating. I haven't really binged in like a long time.
No, for me this season, it's been a lot of picking. It's been in my window. That's the one thing is as long as I stay in my window, I feel good. That's the thing about intermittent fasting is if I eat outside of my window or I stretch my window out longer than it should be, I feel like crap the next day. I just feel like a lump. I don't want to move. It's like I need that concentrated amount of food. And then I guess it's slow releasing of energy for me and it works out really well. And I knew that we had more night plans. So this is one thing with intermittent fasting. When you have a window, I adjusted my window to later. So I would eat lunch a little bit later, 1:30 or 2 o'clock, so that my window could stay open until 8. Because at this point, when I'm doing intermittent fasting, I do 6-18, meaning I have 18 hours of not eating, of fasting, where it's just a clean fast, where it's water or black coffee or black tea or green tea. And then 6 hours of eating. So there's your one little sentence synopsis of intermittent fasting right there. But
basically all you need, right?
Yeah, that's really all you need. But for those 6 hours, oh boy, I was grazing. I even played like grazing in the grass and I was do baby, can you eat a cookie? Oh yeah, just all eating all the cookies, grazing like crazy. Anything that was out, I would be picking at Brussels sprouts on the stove while they were making it just because I could. And I was like, you know what? I really enjoy all the food around Christmas. I'm in such a good mood. Everyone's all warm and loving, and it was good. It was. I'm not gonna. You could play the Joey Tribbiani clip from Friends. I'm just like, I'm not even sorry. No, I'm not. Not
Where
even
is
sorry.
it? I don't even.
Cookies, chocolate, comfort. Good.
Put that cookie down.
Put that cookie down. That could have been me, but and I did tell my kids on Christmas Eve I forgot to buy Christmas cookies. And I was like, oh, you know what? Luckily, my daughter wasn't there. The 2-year-old had no idea, but I was like, oh, we're not putting out cookies and milk for Santa. So I kind of took it upon myself to put Santa on intermittent fasting and say,
that's right. I did see that on the post.
It's not in his eating window. I'm sure he got plenty of Christmas cookies and milk from everybody else. It's okay.
Sure he did.
Yeah.
He's borderline diabetic by the time he gets home.
I know. So I put him on intermittent fasting. Instead, I left him out my copy of Jen Stevens' Delay, Don't Deny.
All right, so I didn't tell you this because we didn't have a chance, but we have. I'm actually going to do a sponsor spot right now.
Okay, worst co-hosts ever. That's
worst
cool.
co-host, yes. So if you like this show, there is another podcast from friends of ours. Well,
Yes.
actually, they're friends of Emily's. They're acquaintances of mine. I've never really met them or talked to them that well. And the name of the podcast is called Talking Fat. And you can look it up on your podcast app, just like you looked up this one.
We'll
And
have
it's
a
with,
link in the show notes. Don't worry.
there you go. It's with Jonathan Oakes and Jennifer Briney. Now, they both have 2 different podcasts that they do. Jonathan's is Trivial Warfare, and Jennifer's is one of my favorite podcasts. It's Congressional Dish, and it's an amazing podcast all about what the hell's going on over in Congress. She does amazing work, and to be honest with you, it should be must listen to. It should be everybody in this country should listen to that podcast. It's amazing. She does amazing work.
It's bipartisan too, so don't worry.
Well,
Well,
it is bipartisan, but if you're on one side and she's talking about your side, you're going to hate her. You think she's on the other side, and that's how you know it's bipartisan because both sides hates her.
Yeah,
and I love her
and loves her too. They both love her and hate her.
I love her. So what they did was they started this podcast and they just go and they talk about, what they're doing. And Jonathan, the very first podcast that got me hooked was Jonathan started talking about, his condition, how he is. I swear I could have wrote the same thing. We have so many of the same issues, physical, mental. It's crazy. So they have a Facebook group too. I joined. I haven't written in there yet, but it seems like they're starting out, and it's a great little podcast to go listen to. It's 30 minutes, not like us where we yammer on for an hour.
Well, we try to keep it short, but we haven't seen each other in 2 weeks. We have a lot.
Right, we never keep yet, but they talk for a half an hour and then they just cut it off like, oh, time to go, got to go, bye. So I've listened to the very beginning. The pilot episode and then episode 1. And I enjoy it. And I think if you enjoy this podcast, you will enjoy that podcast. It's called Talking Fat. On your podcast catcher of choice, go check it out.
Yep. We'll have a link to that in the show notes. Talking Fat. I love it. I love that Jonathan's also my trivia podcasting buddy. And he was one of the first other trivia podcasters I ever met back in 2015 when I started podcasting. He was like the first trivia I was like, oh, you also do a podcast about trivia. I'm not alone. And this was when I was doing my first podcast, the Classy Little Podcast. Yeah. And I met him and he had just started Trivial Warfare. And I'm like, this will be fun. Like growing. I really did not think that I would kind of watch him evolve, and he's become amazing. And then Jen Briney, I would listen to her. We're in kind of the same social group of following Daniel J. Lewis and loving everything he does. So yeah.
Matter of fact, I was listening to Congressional Dish, and she says, I have another podcast with Jonathan called Talking Fat. And I was like, well, I paused, went right over, subscribed, and downloaded the first 2 episodes so I could listen to it. And the weird thing is that I didn't realize that Jennifer even had an issue with weight.
I know. I would not have guessed at all.
I would have not have guessed that because she's a runner, but even she struggles with this. So I think, and I have, like I said, listened to first two, and I'm hooked. So, go check that out. And I also reached out to Jonathan and said, hey, would you guys like to come on here? So I think we're going to have them on as a guest one episode. We're going to try to figure out how to do that.
Yeah. That would
And
be a
have
lot of fun.
guests on. So yeah, I would love to do that. Are we going to do Winning Wednesdays? Because we're all over the place like cats?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's.
Or do you have something else? Because I don't want to.
Oh yeah. For Christmas, did you run into the same thing? Did people get you clothes that are too big that you now have to go to the store and exchange?
No.
Do people get you clothes, or do you?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I didn't get as many this year because last year I had to take them all back and exchange them for smaller sizes, and I feel like my mother-in-law was just like, no. And she's good. Last year she also took me out, and she was like, you need new clothes. Let's just go out, get what you want.
Now I did get clothes. Matter of fact, I don't know if you noticed this, but I have I fell in love with these. They're Headleys. They have like the button
Headleys,
down.
yeah. I was wondering,
Headleys.
they'll look like a new shirt because you're usually wearing a sweatshirt.
Right. Or a t-shirt,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this is long sleeves, and I kind of really like these. So Samantha got me some of those, and then she got me a pair of I guess they're cargo sweatpants or whatever, and they're just, oh my God, they're the best. It's like putting on a hug. They're so comfortable.
I'm so jealous that you have cargo sweatpants. I just want more pockets in my life. I've actually been living in hoodies just for that extra giant pouch. And I want t-shirts with that pouch. I really do. When I was a new mom with my daughter, I was like, why don't they make them? This is where I put my keys. This is where I put my phone. This is where I put all the little trinkets that she has. I just want this kangaroo pouch on everything.
I want a boomer
A
pocket.
boomer pocket.
A boomer pocket right over the heart, because that's where my phone, my wallet, and my keys go.
People used to put cigarettes all the time. That was the
Yes,
cigarette pocket.
that was the cigarette
growing
pocket,
up,
right? So,
looking at that, yeah.
So I go like this every time I try to come on my wallet or my phone, or I'm like, oh shoot, I got to put them in my pants pocket. But now that I have the cargo pants,
Cargo pants.
I just pull that out, and I have one on the side of my leg. So
You could have a
I'm
pocket that's just for popcorn that you just reach your hand in, pull some popcorn out, and just start eating it.
I guess I could. Yes.
You know, that's what you could do with a hoodie. You would turn it around and you fill the hood with popcorn and it's just in your face. You could just eat right out of the hood.
If I do that, someone just hit me in the back of the head with a baseball bat, please. If I start doing that, if I actually start grazing, and that is a trough, just
Yeah,
Just hit me in the back
I'm
of the head
really
with a
in
baseball
grazing
bat.
mode. It's just like, what will make my grazing easier? Oh, yes, turning my hoodie the other way around and just putting a bowl of food in front of my face all the time.
I'm so serious this year. I'm pumped up. I
Yeah.
don't want to lose my momentum. I just want to
Good.
keep stringing days together. Yes, that's what I want to do. Like I said, I think I've wasted 78 episodes. I didn't waste it. I mean, I feel like I've got my head on straight for the first time in a long, long time.
Here's the thing. Like, I think this is actually really healthy for me is I have our Post-its, as I take them off the desk, I have a stack of our Post-its just chronicling how much we lost every single week. And I can look at these numbers and be like, John, -7, -3, -6, -14, -3.
Yeah, but there's a couple plus 10s, plus 5s.
There are, but I'm telling you, like, I've seen your numbers, I've seen you lose weight, and I know you can do it. Like, yes, there are pluses. We know we can gain weight. We don't need to be reminded that we can gain weight. We're really good at gaining weight, but I think we also need to be reminded, like, hey, John, you had a -7, a -11, a
Yes.
-15, a -4. Like, you have all these negatives, and you can do this.
I know. No, I know I can. And like I said, I want to get the surgery because I see other people that have had the surgery, and I can't complain anymore because, like I said, my ex-wife just went through the surgery, and it can't be any worse than what she just went through.
Oh, yeah.
So, and she's going to make it. So there you go. People in the chat, Annette says, just remembering that it's Boxing Day
Yeah.
in England. They also have Boxing Day in Canada.
Canada, happy
which-
Boxing Day to our Canadian friends and our friends across the pond. Happy Boxing Day as we're
Which is, I
recording
guess,
live.
I guess Boxing Day is where you go buy more stuff after Christmas. Is that what that's all about? I guess
I
you take your
never-
gift cards. I don't know enough about Boxing Day.
I don't, and I've never been curious enough about it because the stories that I tell myself Boxing Day is, I'm sure, much more exciting than what Boxing Day actually is. I really picture kangaroos. It has nothing to do with Australia. Kangaroos with little boxing gloves on, and this is where everybody goes and watches them box because, yeah, so I've never really indulged in my curiosity because that story is just so great. I'm just going to let it live in my head forever.
Live it in your head. Okay. All right, so we're through our lists because I don't. Did you weigh in? But I didn't, so I won't have weight. I mean, if you have
we
a weight,
we don't need to, honestly, because I weighed in 2 days ago and I gave myself an extra pound for yesterday. I'm just like giving it some. So yeah, let's not count our weight this week.
All right, but we will do Winning Wednesdays because we had two and they're back to back.
Yes.
Winning Wednesday, Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Wednesday.
All right, so let's start with
the green one.
Yeah, the green one, the earlier one. So this is from last week. Oh, and we apologize that for last week we didn't have a show. John explained earlier in the episode that why we didn't have a show. The episode, we didn't know we were recording. So everything is all discombobulated. So if I'm repeating stuff you already heard, sorry about that. But we didn't have a show last week, so we have 2 Winning Wednesdays. And our first one is from Ingrid. She lost 0.2 pounds.
Brittany says, I got certified to teach pound back in September, and I applied to teach out of my gym, and they got me on.
Wow, that's great. Pound, we looked that up a few weeks ago. That's sort of strength training, Pilates, just a lot of stuff, just all into one. So that's really cool.
And she says, then they got me on. So I think that's a British thing. They've got me on.
They've got me on. Zoe says, my weight has been on a 5-pound roller coaster the past few weeks. With all the stress going on, I'll call it a win as long as I'm staying within the 5 pounds. I'm with you, Zoe, for sure.
Absolutely. Hannah says, I found a cardio dance class at my gym and I really enjoy it and have gone twice in the past week. I've committed myself to stick with at least that for the rest of the year. I got to tell you, it's going to be tough getting into, because the gym from now until February is just going to be packed.
Yeah, that's something to give you a heads up about, everybody, especially right after work. The gyms are packed until usually, I think I found in January when I used to go to the gym, if you go later at night and weirdly in the middle of the afternoon, like at 2:00, if you had that lunch hour free, it's not as bad in January. But yeah, anytime from 5 to 8:00 at night, no.
Even in the morning, like 5 o'clock in the morning, these lunatics are.
Yesterday, this year, I did notice on January 1st, the gym wasn't open. And I was really surprised, like thinking in a marketing perspective, just like, how can you not be open January 1st? Like, wouldn't this be your Black Friday?
I would say January 2nd is your Black Friday because everybody's hungover from January 1st. Everybody's still hungover.
I guess.
Usually.
Yeah.
But no, the second, like when they're getting ready to go back to work, they get their gym bag and they get their new gym clothes that they just bought. And they head to the gym until everything's so sore, they're like, I ain't going back. Well, some do, but not.
Or they see the crowds and they're like, oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, I can't. There's too many people.
Elizabeth is down 2.5 pounds.
That's pretty good in a week. That's great. That's great. You do that every week and you're doing it.
Yeah.
Jennifer says, I bought myself a new fitness tracker in a Black Friday sale, and it is inspiring me to move more. Completed several 30-minute walks in the last week and a half. That is good.
Victoria went up the stairs so fast, she nearly fell on her face. Oh.
Well, is that a good one?
So I think that is a good thing because one of the things that I remember from starting this podcast is talking about having a hard time going up and down the stairs and running up the stairs and being all huffy and being like, I better not have to go upstairs again for anything. And now that I am lighter, I don't mind if I leave something upstairs. It's not a big deal for me to go up and get it and come back down like it used to be. So I totally get that. And honestly, that's one of the reasons I'm really glad that we have this podcast is because I remember a lot more of those moments than I think I would if I wasn't consciously paying attention to where I was versus where I am now.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm planning on having some of those revelations next year.
Yeah.
Teresa says, week 5 of my awesome new strength training rotation. It is so empowering to lift heavy and get stronger.
I love that strength training has become so popular because it used to be aerobics and it used to just turn me off completely. I'm like, that does not look fun to me. Nope.
Well, I got to be honest with you. They always say weight training and lifting heavier weights is better for weight loss than aerobics because your body gets used to aerobics and it doesn't burn as much. But when you lift heavy weights, it seems to be, it kind of breaks your muscles down and then it has to repair and then
and that takes calories. That takes your...
Yes, all that good stuff.
Yeah, and it revs up your metabolism better than aerobics too. I believe aerobics maybe 30 minutes or an hour after your metabolism is still revved up. But I think with strength training, it's a few hours actually after. And I could be wrong. Again, we're not doctors.
Right. We're not even trainers. We're nothing.
No.
We're just people trying to lose weight.
Yeah.
We read things.
We read a lot of things. If you ever talk to somebody who is not as thin and fit and ask them about dieting, they can probably tell you a lot more than somebody who has been thin their entire life and is like, I don't know, just eat for fuel. And meanwhile, the person who has been dieting their whole life will be like, well, what diet do you want? Let me show you a menu of all the diets I've tried and all the rules they have.
Right.
Yeah.
I love those guys. Just eat less, move more. Right. Genius.
Okay. Wonderful. Great. Victoria says, I've just realized that I've lost a third of myself. Wow.
Now that is a...
That's
or is
great.
it also a...
Doo-doo!
Yes. I found it on the board. All right. That was last week's or 2 weeks ago. This week's we have... I'll start it off. Ingrid is down another 2.2 pounds.
Dave is down 0.4 pounds. That's great. And by the way, this is the day before Christmas, everyone. So this is super impressive.
Yes, absolutely. Elizabeth says, even though my weight is up this week, I'm down 12 pounds compared to the same time last year. I take that as a win.
And John, do you want me to do my best John impression? It won't be great.
Yes, I do. I really
okay,
do.
Let me see if I can get the Jersey accent down. I've stayed away from the Christmas cookies. Also, I set goals for 2020. I never set goals before, but I see others who do it every year, and it helps them. I don't know. That was not my good John.
Was that an accent? Because it sounded perfectly fine to me. So
because your accent, it barely registers for me. I can't really do
Well, let me say it this way.
Okay.
I stayed away from the chocolate chip cookies. Also, I set goals for 2020. I never set goals before, but I see others who do it every year, and it helps them.
I know you have an accent, but I can't do it.
I don't hear my accent. It
I
drives
barely
me
hear
insane.
your accent either. So I only hear it when you point it out and you say things like water, and I don't notice it when you say water, and then you
I say
point it
water.
out, and I'm like, oh, I guess you did. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, water. It's water instead of water.
Yeah.
We say water here. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
We have... I'm sorry. There's a suggested group on the side of these Winning Wednesdays, and it's this group of disapproving corgis, and it's just this corgi staring at.
Oh. See, I don't have that.
I know. I don't even have my phone. I'm gonna have to take a screenshot and show everybody. Anyway. Tamara says, went for a 4-mile run this morning. Have managed to stick to my 16-8 fasting schedule during my time off of work. And today only had 1 plate of food at dinner instead of overeating. Yay!
There you go. Well, everybody, you've been doing great. Again, we really appreciate your support. And I love the memes and also everybody. Like I said, this is Emily's. I justified not putting out cookies and milk by saying Santa's doing intermittent fasting and it was outside his eating window. Also, I didn't buy cookies, so I wasn't about to go to the store again last night.
Nope.
And then, I mean, there's so many great memes and
we have great memes
inspirations.
and reminders too, like chill the hell out, enjoy time with your family, crush your goals when the holidays are over. I love those.
Yes. It says women don't try keto before seeing this, and there's a video in there. So there's just so much good stuff in there. My favorite one is the raccoon. It says when you bring up fitness and I'm binging on Christmassy snacks.
That was me. That was so me. I love that Russian Novel Hour has kind of taken off, and now I get a lot of tea memes from people. I'm just like, would you like this kind of tea for your Russian Novel Hour? And I truly enjoy Russian Novel Hour. In fact, I talk about tea and how much I really like green tea. I actually think that's why I'm not feeling as bloated as I normally do, is because I have made it a point to, am I hungry or do I just need water? Can I make tea instead of water? Because that makes me a little happier. And my husband actually got me, he saw how much I was making tea. And for Christmas, he got me a bright copper kettle, which is what I wanted. Because he was like, what kind of tea kettle do you want? I'm like, if Julie Andrews sings about bright copper kettles, I want a bright copper kettle. It's not real copper. It's just copper plated. But
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Ooh, as I'm going through, sorry. As I'm going through here, Annette, I made your soup, and it was amazing.
Oh, what soup was that?
It's the chicken. It's chicken and salsa, and it's like 4 ingredients. It's called crock pot Mexican chicken soup. You put boneless chicken breasts in there, chunky salsa, chicken broth, and then a thing of Monterey or pepper jack cheese. That's it. And you just turn it on, and I turn it on high for 3 hours. And then you shred the chicken and you put it back in there.
Sounds
oh, my
great.
God, it was so good. Put a dollop of sour cream in there. It was so easy to make. And I ate it for like 3 straight days.
Wow. Who is this?
Yeah, and it's the Annette.
Annette.
Sent it.
Thank you,
yeah, it's in
Annette.
there. It's from low carb. It's low carb recipes.
Okay. I'll put a link in the show note. That sounds great.
Yeah, it is amazing. So easy. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. I said, this doesn't sound too good, but I'll give it a try. Now, what I did was I used the, I like a little spice. So I used the Paul Newman medium spice, medium heat salsa. And it was really good. So good. Really, really good. All right. I promise next week we will be more organized. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. We will be back. More weigh-ins next week. We will get our shit together. Get your shit together. If you want to join us in our Facebook group, it's easy to do. Just go over to hate2wait.com/Facebook. And in the notes, there is a link for our store. So if you want to get yourself a Hate to Wait mug or a Hate to Wait, I think there's shirts in there too. There's a bunch of stuff in there.
Yeah, whatever
I don't know.
Threadless makes with our logo on it, we have it. And we also have, by the way, not to discount the amazing shirts that we have from our friend Mark DeCote, who has our inside joke of podcaster math, 2 + 2 = chicken.
Chicken.
We have a bunch of merch. If you're into showing your love for Hate to Wait, we have it.
Yeah, I mean, just a Hate to Wait mug. I'm definitely getting the hate. I'm buying. Oh, and the water bottles for the water reminders.
For water reminders, yeah.
Right, because if you drink water out of a single plastic bottle, they yell at you on the internet. Who knew? So just check that out, and all this will be in the show notes at hate2wait.com. Thank you so much for listening. Emily, thank you for reminding me that we had a show today. I'm very happy about that.
Later, waiters.